Okay, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Good evening again to you.
Okay.
Um, okay, inshallah, we will discuss the part four. So it is easy. In part four is about the quality improvement tools, the tools that we have taken throughout the curriculum. The first tool is the flowcharts, and it is always considered the first tool originally. And you use it when you come to do any investigation for any problem. The flowchart is a pictorial representation displaying all steps in a process and their interrelationships, used to display the sequence of steps in a process. It is what I use in order to do the visualization for the process. If I want to improve a process, even if the process does not yet exist, and I want to make a vision for it in order to improve it, it's still the first thing I always use is the flow chart, which I use to draw how this process will proceed, what the steps of the process will be. The importance is the first step in FEMIA and RCA because it is considered a process mapping technique. I will draw the steps of the process that I have step by step. So in this process, in the flow chart, we will notice that the flow chart's start and end are always in the oval. So I will start and I will write and inside the oval. The rest of the steps are in rectangular shape, like a rectangle. If a step contain a decision, we take yes or no. And it will be in what shape? So this is in diamond shape. Okay. So we took them before. So here is the oval, the rectangle, and the diamond shape. We are going to explore one of the most impactful tools in lean management, value stream mapping, or VSM for short. Let's start with the definition. Value stream mapping is essentially a tool or method that helps us look for the bigger picture of any process. Think of it as bird's eye view and shows every step involved in delivering a product or service, all the way from the supplier to to the customer. The main goal to analyze the current state of the process and design a future state that's more efficient and delivers value seamlessly. Now, why is this important? Well, here's the reality. Every process, no matter how good, has room for improvement. This will help us identify waste, whether it is delays, unnecessary steps, or inefficiencies. Once we spot these issues, we can work on optimizing the flow of value so that the customer gets what they need faster, better, and with less waste. Let's look at the diagram. On the far left, we have the supplier. Okay, the starting point of our process. So the work then moves through a series of process steps, like step one, step two, and so on. So for each step, we have two key measures, the process time and the wait time. When we say the process time, the time that it takes to complete the step, while the wait time, the time that work sits idle before moving forward. The data box at each step provides the critical information like cycle times, resource usage, or any other relevant metrics. This data is crucial because it allows us to zero in on where the bottlenecks or inefficiencies might be hiding. And on the far right on the map, we see the customer, the ultimate focus of all this effort. The idea is to ensure the smoothest, most value driven path from the supplier to the customer. So, why should you care about VSM? It's simple. By using this tool, we're able to align our processes with our goals. It helps us cut out what does not add value, streamline what does, and ultimately deliver better results. In summary, VSM or the value stream map is more than just a diagram. It's a strategy to continuously improve how we work and how we serve our customers. By focusing on the flow of value, we can transform not just individual processes, but the entire systems. Clear, Radha?
Yes.
I also have something else. So like the CPHQ diagram, which is considered process mapping in the case that you are working on a certain project. We said before that there is the identify phase, the design phase, and the develop phase. In the develop phase, we draw the CPHQ diagram. We explain it and said that the suppliers and the inputs, suppliers and inputs, which are the data I will work on processing in order to turn them into outputs, okay, which are the deliverables. So the process that I will be working on itself, I will do what? A flow chart inside the CPOC diagram, and the output will then go to the customers. We give an example and said, for instance, if I have a supplier here, okay, the doctor, he will give me an input, which is the prescription. And this prescription I will work on as a process of medication dispensing. I will process it in the dispensing process, meaning pharmacist dispensing until it is released from me. So in the end, the output will be medical, meaning the medicine. So the medicines are the output that will go to the customer, whether they take it offline or online, or the medical, I can control it. So this CPOC diagram also includes a flow chart. So after we have made the process and created the process steps, we might ask what are the problems that might come from each step of the process? Or there might be a problem that has already happened and we do analysis for it. We also want to do brainstorming to identify the problems that occurred in each step of the process. It is a technique for collecting ideas from a group because it encourages creative thinking and generates a large number of potential solutions. So participants are freely share their ideas without judgment. All ideas are recorded. The goal is quantity over quality initially. Brainstorming is the habit I will use to do idea generation or to create ideas. The tip in brainstorming is collecting ideas. I gather the ideas as much as I can. I do not discuss the idea, nor do I sit and evaluate them, saying these ideas are bad and these ideas are good. Nor do I decide whether I will take these ideas or not. I focus on ensuring the first ideas are recorded. So my goal is quantity, not quality, because to collect the highest number of ideas. The overall value is not about saying this idea is good or not good. That is something for later. In brainstorming, I encourage every team member to participate with me and gather as many ideas as possible, and the ideas are recorded. Now, if the idea or problem we are discussing is controversial, okay, it means it is a subject of debate, a subject of discussion. If we sit and talk about it, one person says their opinion and there are differences, we will never finish. In this case, I will do individual brainstorming, meaning each team member will get a piece of paper and be told, collect all your ideas from me or write down your ideas and suggestions on this paper. Then all of you submit your papers to me, and I will read the papers and then discuss each idea one by one without agreeing on whose idea it is or whose opinion it is. This is called, okay, this is called what? The nominal group process or technique. It is for collecting ideas and is considered individual brainstorming, especially if the problem is controversial. Clear? Any question?
Yeah.
Mm. Okay, hi
Mm.
Doc Gulam, good
Assalamu
evening.
alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Now, we want to meet together in an action meeting and we agree whether online or we want to gather information. We do the study and we send the questionnaire data by email and you all respond to it. And this is called the Delphi technique. So the Delphi technique is used when members are in different locations. Okay. And we want to do cold data collection and collect ideas. All right. I have done brainstorming and collect a very large number of ideas. Now I need to categorize or rank them and organize them. I will use the affinity diagram. When I have a large amounts of data into logical groupings, and I want to do ranking or categorization to organize them and put similar ideas together. For example, ideas related to HR, to training, process, billing, and empower. The ideas related to HR go under HR, and ideas related to training go under training. Ideas related to products go under products and so on. So the affinity diagram is used after we collect many ideas, and I often use it after brainstorming to do ranking or categorization. Let's talk about a simple yet powerful tool for brainstorming and organizing ideas. We call it the lotus diagram. The lotus diagram is designed to expand thinking around a single topic. Think of it as a structured way to break down big ideas into smaller and manageable parts. It helps you dig deeper into a subject by connecting related concepts and ensuring nothing important is overlooked. This tool is often this tool is often used to organize outputs from brainstorming sessions. Imagine you are working with a team and throwing around ideas. The lotus diagram brings structure to that chaos. By organizing your ideas visually, it makes it easier to see relationships, prioritize thoughts, and move forward with clarity. Now let's break down on how it works. At the center of the diagram, you'll find your main topic. So this is the core focus. Surrounding it, you have boxes for related ideas. Each of these ideas can then be expanded further in their own surrounding boxes, just like petals around a lotus flower. This step by step approach is similar to creating an affinity diagram, but it is more visual and interactive. Yellow could signify main ideas. Green, blue, and red could represent subcategories that branch off from those main ideas. This color coding helps us to quickly identify and group concepts, making it a fantastic tool for collaboration. So how can I display these causes and ideas? I display them using the cause and effect diagram, also known as Ishikawa or fishbone diagram. It displays the relationship between an effect and all possible causes. Usually, the cause and effect diagram is used after what? After using the hmm, flow chart. I then use
Church.
the cause and effect diagram after having done what? Hmm? Brainstorming and identify the causes of problems. That means I use this tool to display and show the relationship between the effects and the causes. I will use it to show the causes of the problem I have. There is also categorization involved. Categorization of these problems. For example, we usually categorize them using the 6 M's or the 3 M's. So the 3 M's could be, for example, machines, okay, manpower, and materials.
Money machine.
Yes. So, or depending on the case, we could add even the environment. Okay, we could even add procedures, technology, people, patients, meaning we list here the categories that form the fishbone structure. I place the categories I want And from here, I add the items I have collected or the causes of the problems I have. At the head of the fish, we write the problem in the form of a question. If you remember when we talk about the cause and effect diagram, we said that after we identify the problem and organize the team, we then move to the clarity process step. In the clarify process step, we said that first we create a flow chart. And after that, we infer causes. Infer causes means we display the causes on what? Through the fishbone diagram. Clear?
Clear.
Clear. I also have the interrelationship diagram. And I use the interrelation diagram when there is a cause and effect relationship and the relationship between them is a bit complex. This is used for complex problems like the shape in front, uh, where I have many relationships between the causes of the problems. So this helps the team understand relationships among issues within a process to determine the strength of relationship between issues. So what do I use? The interrelationship diagram. So in here, I write all the problems and start analyzing which problem leads to other problems. So, for example, here we have people enter the area from two directions simultaneously. So, this leads to another issue, okay, which is a traffic jam in the last 15 months. You can see the arrow here from A to G, okay. Another example is no assigned drop-off area. So this leads to another issue and another issue and another issue. So each problem leads to other problems. So I start understanding which problem is causing other problems. To represent the cause and effect, I draw arrows indicating the cause leading to the effect. After drawing these arrows and linking all the causes of the problems, I go to each main problem and write down the number of arrows. Okay, so we have out, meaning how many problems this issue has caused. Again, out. This means how many problems this issue has caused. What about the in? This means how many other problems have led to this issue. So we have an example here. If a problem has four in, okay, four in and one out. Heavy volume in the last 15 minutes before school starts. It means this problem was caused by four other problems, but has only led to one problem. Okay? So where this arrow is going. Again, if a problem has four in and one out, heavy volume in last 15 minutes before school starts. So it means this problem was caused by four other problems. So which are people enter the area from two directions simultaneously. Another problem is no staff to direct the traffic. Okay, which one is here? No assigned drop-off area. Okay, and kids take too long to exit cars. So these are the four other problems, okay, that caused by this heavy volume in the last 15 minutes. Okay, understood? For example, again, if a problem has zero in, okay, zero in and five out, no staff to direct the traffic. It means this problem was not caused by anything else, but it has led to five other issues, like where the arrow pointing, the arrow is pointing outwards, right? So we have the people enter the area from two directions simultaneously, and there is no, okay, assigned drop-off area. Okay, what else? The other root cause. We have the kids walk in front of cars. Oh no, I'm sorry. Going outward. Okay, here.
Yes.
So we have people enter the area from two directions simultaneously, and people are unaware of the traffic rules, and kids take too long to exit cars. What else? Kids walk in front of
Kids walk
cars.
in front of the us.
Yes, and heavy volume in last 15 minutes before school starts. So this is the meaning of 0 in and 5 out. It means this problem was not caused by anything else, but it has led to other 5 issues. This means it is the root cause, the main driver of all problems. So I can use the interrelationship diagram to find the root cause of the problems. If I count the number of out arrows, the problem with the most out arrows is the root cause. 5 out, meaning this problem has caused 5 other problems. 3 out means this problem has caused 3 other problems. 2 out, and so on. So the problem with the most out arrows is the root cause. All right. We haven't seen many questions about the interrelationship diagram, but we consider it as a tool used to identify the root cause. So the root cause is the issue with the highest number of outgoing arrows, meaning it is considered the main driver and the root cause of the problem. Clear?
Okay.
The 5 whys analysis is by asking why 5 times to identify the root cause of the problem. Ask why, then again why. Repeat it 3 more times. This is done to identify the root cause, and we all called it a simple tool. Identify the root causes of the problems. Now I want to ask about the problems I have when I move to prioritization, which means I determine the priority of the problems I will work on solving first. First method we have is the multi-voting. Multi-voting is a tool also used for prioritization, a technique used to prioritize a long list of possibilities or alternatives. The goal is to move a team toward consensus and identify the critical few ideas because this determines which ideas the group will focus on for further action. For example, if you have a lot of ideas and you want to prioritize them, or you have many problems and you want to prioritize them, we start by giving each one a vote. How many points should we give this problem? So, for example, give it 10 points. How many points should we give this idea? Give another idea 20 points. Another idea gets a different score, and so on. We vote to narrow down the number of ideas. For instance, if we have 50 ideas or 50 problems, we reduce them down to a smaller number. Then we vote multiple times until we narrow it down to the smallest number possible to work on. That way, we identify the critical issues. For example, if we reduce 50 problems to 5, okay, we can further narrow them down and focus on only the most critical ones. So this is multi-voting. The second method is the prioritization matrix. You determine certain priorities and look at the problems you have. You determine these priorities. The ones you will give priority to, you give them a certain percentage. Frequency. How many times does this repeat? And this how many times? And this how many times? Okay? And this is um the importance or the significance. Okay, the feasibility. Anything we might change the priority. I might say, for example, hardware design. I might say process. I might say software. I might say online strategic plan, meaning according to the priority I have. I determine my priorities and I place the problems or I do deprioritization. But I can use the problems or the solutions. I can also put the solutions I have and see what I want to prioritize, the thing I will work on. And this is the most important thing, gathering the priorities. And I want something like, for example, here in the problem, the highest point is the long waiting times. And the high priority, this is what I will start with first. And this is the major problem that I will use to make my prioritization. And this is the prioritization matrix. All right, so the priority matrix, do you get it? Any question regarding this? Moving on, the priority matrix is where you display the problems or solutions based on their impact on the organization and the effort needed for implementation. So, for example, I'll show the relationship between we have here the effort and the impact. But it doesn't always have to be effort and impact. It can be something else too. Like here, for instance, it's showing the impact and feasibility instead. Okay. So let's take a look here. The impact on the organization or the impact of the proposed solutions is ranked. Okay. The most impactful solution are placed on the top. Okay, placed on the top. Okay, and next, and the least impactful one are at the bottom. Then you look at effort and the resources. Okay, how much effort do you need to implement the solution? The ones that require the low effort here, okay, are on the left, and the ones that require high effort are on the right. Now let's take a look at the example. There's something called the quick wins, which are solutions that take low effort and low resources. They don't cost much, but they have a high impact on the organization. So that's where you put the solution that won't take a lot of effort, but will make a big difference in solving the problem. So you list this in quick wins under low effort, high impact. So, how you prioritize solutions in the matrix? The most important thing is high impact. That's what we care about first, the high impact. Next, you look at the high impact solution that require the high effort. These are the big projects that come after the quick wins. Then you have the solutions that take the low effort but also have the low impact. These aren't really a priority because they don't make much of a difference. How this question might show up in the exam. The exam might ask you about a priority matrix comparing the impact and feasibility. So, what does feasibility mean? How likely it is that we can successfully implement this solution? If feasibility is high, okay, if the feasibility is high, so meaning that means implementation will be easier. What should you choose based on feasibility? The higher the feasibility, okay, the higher the feasibility, the easier it is to implement. If feasibility is high, then the condition doesn't require much effort. The difference between this effort and feasibility, if we're talking about effort, we are looking for the low effort, okay, here, and high impact. But if we are talking about feasibility, we are looking for high feasibility and high impact solutions. How the question might change in an exam. If they replace feasibility with risk, what should you look for? You look for solutions that have low risk. If they replace feasibility with cost, What do you look for? You go for low cost. How to order solutions in the priority matrix? First priority is the high impact. First priority is the high impact, okay, and high feasibility. These are your top solutions, your first priority. The second priority is high impact and low feasibility, because these are also important, but they need more resources and effort. What about for the third priority? Low impact and high feasibility. These are easy to implement but don't make much of a difference, so they are not a high priority. How the question might be asked? The exam might give you a table with different solutions and ask which one should you work on first. The first thing you go for is always high impact and high feasibility. Then you move to high impact and low feasibility. I repeat, the exam might give you a table with different solutions and ask which one should you work on first. The first thing you go for is always the high impact and high
High feasibility.
feasibility. Then you move to high impact and low
Low feasibility.
feasibility. Always remember this one. If the matrix compares the impact versus the effort, okay, first you choose the high impact and low effort. Second, you go high impact and high effort. Again, if the matrix compares impact versus effort, first you choose high impact and high effort. Okay, clear. So that's the difference between the two types of matrices. Question. Okay, just remember those Q questions and words. This came out with me in during my exam also. Okay, let's proceed. Also in research and programs, we said that 80% of problems come from the 20% of causes. So if I solve the 20% of causes, I will create a positive impact on the 80%. These 20% are what we call the vital few, and 80% are the trivial many. Okay? I have some tools that I use as proactive methods, which are failure process analysis to identify potential failures. And we had said that this is the failure method, and it is used that I can identify the potential failures and their potential effects. Now, the driver diagram. This is a tool that I use to present the relationship between the goal or aim I have and the primary drivers. Have the primary drivers that will help me achieve this goal, as well as the secondary drivers and the change ideas or outputs that I will track or analyze. So, for example, I write here the goal or aim I want, such as reduce patient no show for new medicine from 70% to 100%. Now, what are the primary drivers that will help me implement this? So we have the right, reliable process to ensure patient attendance and education and awareness and policy for patient no show. Now for the secondary drivers, ensuring clinicians are engaged with patients, providing patient education, and staff members supporting policy procedures. And then release the change outputs, okay, which are the changes that will take place based on all these drivers. For example, ensuring consistent improvement, patients receiving education, and providing educational resources. Now let's talk about the PDPC, which is the Process Decision Program Chart. This Process Decision Program Chart, or PDPC, is a combination of the flow chart and the fishbone diagram. Its purpose is to identify potential problems or risks in the process, so it is considered a proactive tool that I can use when I need to identify potential problems in advance. So, for example, we list here the plan. Okay, possible problems that might arise and preventive actions and solutions for those problems. So, what makes PDPC unique is that it allows you to plan for solutions and problems within the same diagram. You write the plan, identify the potential problems that might occur, and list solutions within the same chart. So, the PDPC is distinct because it combines solutions and problems in one place. In the force field analysis, we had mentioned in team management that when we conduct a force field analysis, we have two forces. So we have the driving forces and the restraining forces. And the force field analysis can be used in evaluation. So where do I use it? So what is written here? The driving forces and the restraining forces, as I've said, I can use it in project evaluation. So you might get a question asking, how can you evaluate the success of a project? It could give you two forces or a field force, and you have to use them. I check the driving forces. I check the restraining forces. I evaluate which force has a higher strength and impact. If the driving forces have the highest strength, it means the project is strongly driven and has momentum. If the restraining forces are stronger, it means the project is facing major obstacles. Then I determine the driving forces I have, the restraining forces I have, and I set an action plan to reduce these restraining forces and increase the driving forces. The checklist tool is used as a memory jogger to track tasks. So I use it to create a checklist. I compare the tasks and mark them off because it helps in tracking progress. That's the checklist. For the Gantt chart is a project planning tool for developing schedules, displaying individual parts of a quality improvement process as bars on a horizontal time scale. It is used to track project improvements. It visualizes the project timeline, okay, dependencies and progress as at a glance. The Gantt chart looks like this. So you write the required tasks in the list. We have the task 1, task 2, task 3. Then you assign the time frames. For the task 1 is from March 3 to 7, and the task 2 from March 7 to 14, 10 to 14, and then task 3, and so on. The Gantt chart is used to track the process of a project. So, for example, if a specific task is supposed to be completely by March 28th, okay, so I check the March 28th. Has it been completed or not? So, what it is used for? It's used for tracking project progress. Okay, clear the Gantt chart? All right, so next we have the storyboard. The storyboard is the last tool we're going to talk about. It's a visual display of the team and pertinent data, information, analysis, and decisions made during the improvement process. It is used to present results. It's a visual display, meaning it shows more images than text. Basically, it's like a short story a quick snapshot that summarizes things visually using minimal words and images. For example, it tells where we were and where we are now. It compares last year's percentage with this year's percentage. It uses short clips, tools, charts, diagrams, graphs, matrices, and other visual methods to effectively communicate the achievement story. All right, so we are done now. Now let's just wrap things up with a quick conclusion. First is to pick the right tool to tackle the problem and combine the tools and best practices for a complete approach. And most importantly, when solving any problem, you need to identify the problem. What exactly are you trying to fix? Second would be follow a step by step process to solve it. Third is use the cause chart to pinpoint the root causes of the issue. Next, or the fourth one, choose the right tool to analyze and fix the problem. Fifth will be explore solutions and alternatives that could work. Sixth would be test them using the 5 and test approach. Run a trial and adjust. And lastly, implement the final solution and track its success. And that's all. Inshallah, we have now completed the explanation of the key performance improvement tools. So next lecture, we'll go through the final quiz number 4 questions together. That ends for tonight's lecture for the data analytics part 4. Any questions so far?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, none so far.